Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit RayconGlobal.com. That's RayconGlobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3BoxingPicks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
Salute. It's your boy BVO Sports TV. I'm with my big brother and my cousin, Bruce Gas. What's going on, man? Sorry about all the ads, but we got to pay the bills. YouTube plays a lot of games.
Bro, when I saw you doing Muhammad Ali on here, you know, that man, he holds a special place in my heart. I said, let me give him a buzz, see if he needs any help up here. Because man, I have so many great memories of Muhammad Ali. Every fight pretty much has a story, and I mean it's just a pleasure that you got back to me. And shout out, I got a couple of cats from my channel. I'm sharing this if you don't mind. I'm sharing this broadcast, brother, and I got a couple of cats from my channel in here. So
that's what we do, man. We work together, man. Oh, that's no problem, man. That's what we do, man. We here to work together. Yes, but one of the things I want to. Can you hear me? Hold on. Let me go back in, come back out. 1 second. I'm having a little technical difficulty. 1 second.
Yeah. Bear with us, my friends out there, and thanks you cats for stopping in here. This was very impromptu. I don't know what I was going to do tonight, but then I saw BVO speaking on the greatest of all time, and this I consider myself a minor expert in. This is my brother Carl, the boxing kangaroo. All right, man. Shout out, man. Shit, man. Where's all BVO's listeners? Get them on here. I want to see Marky Mark and D Free and all those other crazy cats up here with us, man. You know.
I think they're on the way. Hold on 1 second.
You know, there's a lot of people on YouTube that I can talk boxing to, but there's not a lot of people I can talk boxing with, and that's why I'm over here, BVO. You follow me?
I really appreciate you saying that. But you know, one of the reasons this subject came up was I was reading something about Muhammad Ali, and I didn't realize, because I wasn't there, how much the reporters just fawned over him. And they never, ever told him the truth. And I don't care who you are. It's hard as a person to get a gauge if no one in your life can tell you the truth. And it's like he was treated more like a king than a person. And that's one, you know, and he had a thing where he said during his last two fights, he was.
You got to fix that microphone, bro.
From brain.
You got to fix that. You got to fix that microphone. You're coming in and out, bro.
Okay. Yeah, let me fix my microphone real quick and I'll have you talk. 1 second. Sorry.
All right, bro. No problem. He's spitting out some gems there, and you know we don't want them blown on a technicality. So we'll let my brother BVO go take care of that cheap Kmart mic that he's got, and then he'll be back again. Susanna, shout out to you. My brother Carl. Hey, Muhammad Ali. I love speaking on Muhammad Ali. The night Muhammad Ali died, I cried, man. And I can tell you, almost every fight that he had that I saw, there's a story that goes with it. And hey, every once in a while, I like to look in the rearview mirror. And BVO, he's a young historian in the making, and I'm sure like he's already got a topic going, and we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's happening. I got instead of the Toka 2, I figured I let up a nice blunt for the show. There's my brother Crush the Legend out there, man. Shout out to you, bro. BVO's fixing that cheap mic of his. We don't want to distort any of this prime knowledge. Here we go. He's coming back again. Let's give it a try. Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Sorry about that. See, I live in the suburbs, man. So I've learned now I gotta like go away from my house a little bit.
They call that around here. They call that stealing the neighbor's Wi-Fi. But hey, I don't judge. I don't judge. Man.
Hey, you gotta watch Bruce, man. You gotta watch my brother Bruce, man. He's rough, man. You gotta watch him. But the thing I was speaking about before was I was wondering why no one ever told Muhammad the truth. And the thing that came out that was so overwhelming was Angie said everybody kissed his butt. Everybody. Whether it was the Nation, whether it was the Kentucky 7, everybody did whatever Muhammad wanted. And the thing I'll say to myself, I wonder in the end, Muhammad being too trusting, is that what hurt him? But I think it's him being too trusting. And I think on top of that, nobody around him to tell him the truth. I think he really played dearly for that. What would you say to that, Bruce?
I don't know, bro. You know, I have to give that some thought. But he was a superstar. You know, back in the mid 70s, he was more known than Jesus Christ. You know, billions of people knew who Muhammad Ali was, and man, yeah, everybody kissed his ass. Everybody wanted to eat at my restaurant, stay at my hotel. I mean, you know, Ali was a genuine superstar. You know, he transcended boxing. My mother knew Muhammad Ali. My grandmother knew Muhammad Ali. You know, he was like I said, more people knew who Ali was than they knew who Jesus Christ was. That's how popular he was. People down in the Congo, people in the Eskimos, everybody knew Ali. So, you know, I could see him getting coddled like that.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that's so funny that you learn with Muhammad was like, you know, Don King, which, you know, he sued about and tried to cover up. He only paid him $50,000 of a supposed guaranteed $8 million purse. Little stuff like that. Like, when you think about that, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you, as somebody, and we know how much Don King loved Muhammad. He actually had a personal painting of Muhammad Ali in his forum. So when you came into his house, the first person you seen, not him, not his beautiful wife, you seen Muhammad Ali. And for him to put him in a fight with Larry Holmes in his prime, I mean, man, that was just horrible, man. I don't know. What did you think about? Now, you were around during that time. What did people say about that fight? Because they just, from somebody that's going back, that just looked like, what the hell? Who makes that fight?
Well, first of all, I'll get back to what you were talking about before about that $50,000 to settle a $8 million lawsuit. See, Ali, his fortunes, they ran in peaks and valleys. He was flush, and everybody ate. He took care of relatives, friends, let people borrow money, went into different business ventures. But then he had valleys when he was sick, and he had the Parkinson's. He had medical bills. Don King knew when to catch Ali. He knew Ali needed cash. Cash is king, bro. You know, I mean, there's promises. There's the pie in the sky. A briefcase full of cash. Sign on the dotted line. Drop the lawsuit at the time. That had to be done. So that's the story behind that. And as far as the second question, now that was the Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes fight. That was a sad fight. I was an Ali fan. I was hoping for that comeback. I was hoping for that one more time. You know, he did it against Leon Spinks. You know, Ali always pulled that one last rabbit, one last trick out of his hat. And I mean, me and my homeboys, bro. I mean, we dressed to the nines. We went out to a nice restaurant. We had Dom Perignon. We're smoking cigars. We're snorting lines. We're at the Providence Civic Center at the closed circuit event, and it was so sad. Ali just got the shit kicked out of him. Couldn't put up a fight. I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that arena. 8,000 people who usually tear the roof off the place, and it was just a sad thing. I was hoping I'd never see him fight again, and when he fought Trevor Berbick, that was even sadder. But man, you know, he'd always pull one more trick, one more encore, and that Larry Holmes fight, that just proved that, you know, Father Time, all the hectic schedule. I mean, you just look at the amount of fights he had in his career, you know, including the break. He was fighting 3-4 times a year regularly against top contenders. Right. I mean, just an amazing freaking schedule. And at 36 years old, his body was wasted. The beatings that he took, the Parkinson's, the onstart of that, and you know, it was just so sad to see. You know, just the reality of that happening. You know, watching this young man, fastest hands you ever see, like Sugar Ray Leonard throwing these combinations. You know, I mean, just like Sugar Ray Robinson, what I was saying before Leonard, and then to see him break down like that and to fight Larry Holmes, that was like, I mean, reality. You know, that's a real hard slap in the face right there.
Speaking of slap, speaking of slap, when you seen Larry Holmes slap Muhammad like that, I don't know. I just, when I seen that, I knew Ali was finished because I just couldn't imagine him in his prime, someone slapping him like that. And he just sat there and just was like, you know, okay, what now? And it's like, go ahead.
At a press conference?
Yeah, at the press conference. Ali did something, and Larry it was like a tap on the face, not like a hard slap, like a tap on the face. You know, I'll send you the clip. It was just one of them things where Muhammad just looked at him like, okay, and then he moved on to whatever he's doing, because like the fans weren't even reacting to a trash talk like they used to. They were just kind of, you know what I mean? They were just kind of just sitting there. They weren't even reacting to the stuff he was saying, because he still sounded like Ali, but you know, he had a mustache. He just was finished. Go ahead.
Well, you know, that was the time where, you know, I speak to Tim Witherspoon. He told us about, he was a sparring partner for Ali during that fight, and the day before the fight, they were going to cancel it because Ali had so many medical problems going on with his body. He burned his fat off. He took thyroid medication, and
wow,
and he lost this weight unhealthily. He was like a walking corpse. They were gonna call off the fight. Angelo Dundee is saying, let's stop the fight, but Don King and the other promoters, they said, come on, you know, we can pull it together. And you know, Witherspoon was on the floor, and he heard all that. He's telling me this, you know, it's news. And you know, he was a shell of himself in that fight. You know, it was sad to see, but man, I like to look at the fights before that. You know, the great career that he had, the Manila, man, the Rumble in the Jungle, all those fights, man. I lived through those. I have memories of those. I have stories about every one of them, and that's the Ali memories I like to keep alive.
Well, let me ask you this: after he fought George Foreman, why did he retire? I think he was 31 at that time.
When Ali fought George Foreman, he didn't retire.
Yeah, I think he's like 31, wasn't he?
He wasn't that old, but he didn't retire, man. He fought. He went on and fought Ken Norton after that. He fought the thriller in Manila. And people don't realize when Ali fought Ken, just before Ali fought Ken Norton, he fought this wrestler called Antonio Inoki, and this. You want to compare this to Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez. This was real stuff. This was not a Jake Paul fucking exhibition. This Antonio Inoki was a wrestler, but he took this serious. And Ali didn't know how to take it. Ali thought it was going to be a game in there. And Ali ended up getting blood clots on his legs. It was a 15-round draw. And this guy, the wrestler was on his back most of the time, but he's kicking Ali with these horrendous kicks. And he had blood clots. Like I said, he had to get, blood clots are serious. You can die from those. But 2 months later, he's fighting Ken Norton, the #1 contender in Yankee Stadium. So, it's the guy fought a crazy hectic schedule. That was either his third fight or his fourth fight of that year, 1976. And he was already in the twilight. The fight with Holmes was, I think, 1980. So we're looking at a real condensed career. This guy just never took a break, man. He never took inactivity. That wasn't even an option with Ali.
My question to you as well was this: was Bundini his trainer? Because I was watching some clips with Bundini. He was basically showing how Ali would get ready. He would have him wear like these boots. He would wear a sweatsuit, and then he would wear like a sauna suit on top. I always wondered, was Bundini his trainer, or how did that work?
Bundini was the court jester. He was just a friend. Ali brought him in there because he kept everything light. He kept everything happy in the camp. That's why Angelo Dundee had Bundini Brown there. He was a junkie. This guy, he'd say he was off the stuff, and he'd steal from Ali. He was a con man, bro. But he was Ali's friend, and like I said, he kept everybody happy. Everybody in camp had a smile on their face. When he was out on a bender, there'd be arguments in camp. People would be bummed out. When Drew Bundini came back, hey Drew, and that's why they kept him around. He was not a trainer, man. He was definitely not.
Oh, okay, I was wondering because this clip, man, I see he was basically kind of breaking stuff down. Because I guess Ali was fighting once a year at that time. He was saying that Ali would, he would blow up a little bit from sitting on that couch.
Well, I don't know if Ali ever fought once a year, man. He kept fighting. Well, he did actually between Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick when nobody wanted to see him fight again. He fought Holmes in 1980, and he took the whole year off. He was telling us he was going to fight Mike Weaver, and he was going to make a comeback, and people are just shaking their head. But then he fought Trevor Berbick, who had just fought Larry Holmes, so he was a reputable contender, and that was total sad. I wasn't anticipating it. I went and watched it. A friend of mine who had cable at the time, but that was a real sad affair. It was in a cow pasture in the Bahamas. They had a cowbell as the actual ring bell. They didn't have a ding. They had a dong, kind of a. It was a cowbell. It was such a half-assed promotion. Greg Page was on the undercard. He fought Scott Ledoux, and the dressing room was curtains in the middle of the field. They made tents up, and those were the dressing rooms. And the fighters, the Ledoux and Greg Page are just about knocking the curtain down, trying to get at each other. It was a total horror show, but it was it was part of the Ali legend, part of the great story. So it ended bitterly, it ended sadly, and it was almost an embarrassment for Ali to go out like that. But it can't shadow just the great stuff that he had in his career. fantastic fights, the just the life that he had, dude, beyond boxing. You know, boxing was only a part of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a statesman. I mean, he was a philanthropist. I mean, he's a man of God. I mean, Muhammad Ali was the greatest. What else can you fucking say? You know?
Yeah. And speaking of that, man, I guess the thing that I'm, learning too was I didn't realize that Ali was so generous, man. They got this thing I was reading about. They said people would call his phone day and night, asking to help them pay their rent, pay their car note, all this stuff like day and night. And they said Ali hardly ever said no. Little stuff like that. Like, I can't believe he was that generous, man. That's crazy to hear that the champ was just like, whatever I can do, I'm gonna do.
He was training. He was training in San Francisco. He was training in San Francisco, I think, in San Diego for the Norton fight. And and there was a dude that would come down to ringside, during the training camp, and he had no legs. And he said he was freaking Henry Armstead. He was Jackie Robinson. And Ali's giving him money, and Angelo Dundee says, "Champ, that's not Jackie Robinson." And Ali says, Ange, says, "It doesn't matter." He says, that guy ain't got no legs. And, it's just, that's how generous he was. He just...
That's funny, man.
It's beautiful. Rascal out, my brother. Shout out to you, man. John Parham. I'm getting a bunch of cats on my channel coming in here, man. I appreciate it. And
salute, man. Salute to everybody coming through.
We are just on memory lane here with the greatest of all time.
And the funny thing about it too is that I was listening to an interview with Joe Frazier, and the thing that got me was I'll never understand why Ali didn't take the time to explain to Joe that he didn't mean the stuff he was saying, because I didn't even realize this, but Joe took all that stuff to his death. There was a famous thing where he left a message on his voicemail, kind of like a shot at Ali, and I was thinking to myself, like, for them guys to be such great friends, it's crazy that that Ali never kind of made it right, man. That's kind of crazy to me. What do you think about that one?
Well, see, Joe forgave Ali because Joe was a Christian. He said, I have to forgive. I have to forgive the man. And they had this thing. Ali had to sell those fights, and he didn't mean to call. He was calling Joe Frazier Uncle Tom, the gorilla, real fucking racial stuff. But he was doing it to sell the fight, to make the dough. But Joe didn't want to hear it. Joe took that seriously. Joe didn't roll with the punches, or Joe didn't go back. It wasn't no YouTube thing. It wasn't no freaking going back and forth on Twitter. Joe took it serious. Ali went to Joe's camp, and Joe wanted to fight. I mean, they were going to fight in freaking Times Square. We just had fights in Times Square. They had a radio station call in. They had a crowd. It was Central Park rather. Before the major fight, before the fight, the 1971 fight, they were going to go at it in Times Square. I mean, it was in Central Park. They had this hatred thing, but it was mostly Joe Frazier. Ali didn't hate Frazier. Frazier had that in him where he just couldn't. He couldn't accept me and talk to like that. He had so much pride. And he wasn't the actor like Ali was. He couldn't turn it off and turn it on. When there was a crowd around, Ali could turn it on. When the crowd was gone, he was a different person. Joe Frazier couldn't do that, man. Joe Frazier just had this anger. I mean, his blood pressure was high. He fought with blind in one eye. Joe Frazier was really a tough son of a bitch too, man. Him and Ali, they're probably still fighting right now in heaven. They're probably still. Man, Ali had.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he had some great parody. He had some great competition where they had rematches and trilogies, and I mean it was just great stuff.
something I always wanted to ask you, man. Who wins, Joe Louis or Muhammad Ali?
I don't like freaking fantasy fights, man. There's there's what ifs and what it would be an interesting fight. It would be a great fight. You know, Joe's shuffling, come forward style, and a prime Ali of 1966. That would be something to behold. But see, Joe Louis had problems with guys like that. Guys like Billy Conn, guys like Ezra Charles. So who knows? Who knows, man? You know, if Joe caught him, Ali would never take the 10 count. You know, he's been hit by some of the hardest punches, man. The left hook of Joe Frazier, the poundings of George Foreman. I mean, dude, Ernie Shavers, and he never went down. He went down, but he never stayed down. And I think for Joe Louis to win a fight like that, he would have to take Ali out. And could it happen? Lord knows.
You know, I tell you what, man, this is fun, because one thing about talking about Muhammad Ali, man, you know, his whole story transcends time, because you usually won't see a middle-class kid become heavyweight champion. I mean, it wasn't like Muhammad needed to fight. You know, he had, you know, his mother and father, you know, there for him. And then I remember, which a lot of people don't know, his little brother was fighting. I remember watching some old interviews, and his little brother was like 10-0 on the amateurs or something. He was like, yeah, he's gonna be better than me. And go ahead.
I just want to shout out Traveling Fools stopping by my channel, man. That's the guy who turned me on to the trivia games. I got the trivia software through him, and he showed me how to do the shows. So I want to shout him out. He's in here tonight too, man. A good boxing fan in his own right, and he runs all kind of crazy trivia on his channel. So anybody's over there, man, just go click his channel and give him a sub. And
yeah, definitely subscribe. Check him out, because that's what we do. But before we get out of here, man, I want to ask you a question, man. Do you think that Muhammad lost all 3 fights to Ken Norton?
No. I thought the first fight could have gone either way. They were so close that they talk about how fights go today, how they're scored. Ali and Ken Norton, those fights could go one way or another. You could watch them 10 times, and you could have come out with 10 different answers. The last fight, I give it to Ken Norton. I thought Ali pulled a quick one in that fight. Norton had him. But the first 2 fights, the first one, Ali was not in shape, but Norton still couldn't knock him out. But he broke his jaw. Ali went to 11 rounds with a broken jaw. I mean, who could do that? And then in the second fight, Ali was more in shape. That was probably the most even fight. The second fight, they were both.
Yeah, I like the second one the best.
And it's the one that gets the least publicity. But the third fight, man, see that fight. That's got some interesting background too, because the police in New York City were on strike, so there were very few uniformed cops outside the garden. The pickpockets were going crazy. The muggers are out there. I mean, it was a crazy scene. And then inside, like they said, another robbery took place, and Ali. But that was Ali and Norton, man. That's another 2, man. Joe Frazier's making a tag out, and Norton's probably coming in, and they're just going back and forth, split decision, majority draw, whatever. But man, those 2, unbelievable.
Yeah, you know the amazing thing. You know the amazing thing about those 2. Those 2 gave Ali hell, but George Foreman beat them both to death. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Foreman wiped out Norton. Ernie Shavers, another one. You know, Norton just could not take those power punches that would go they go the 15 rounds with Ali, or they give Ali life and death fights. But for somehow Norton would just freeze when he fought a big banger.
Yeah, because I think George, and the thing that shocked me, I thought George was bigger. He was only about 6'3". I mean, George was. I don't know. I read something. I don't know. I might as well ask you this too. They said he killed the bull. He punched the bull, and the bull died. Is that true
Well,
or that's just some folklore?
I don't know, man. I never heard about that with Foreman. I did hear that Roberto Duran knocked the horse down. He'll admit it to himself that he knocked the horse out. But see, we just had the anniversary. Just the other day was the 50th anniversary of Muhammad Ali and Ron Lyle. And Ali was out of shape, man. He was over the hill, and he came in at 223, I believe. And that was out of shape for Ali. That was overweight, flabby, didn't look good at all. And he still managed to knock out Ron Lyle, one of his last impressive knockouts. But Ali was, his prime was 210, 215. That was Ali's prime in his second coming. But when he got heavier than that, he was out of shape. It was more fat. He couldn't put on. They didn't have the technology back then to put the muscle on like they do today. The nutritionists, the specific training. You know what I mean? Ali I think he'd be a prime 235 today if he was if he was in the game. He wouldn't be eating no grits and no chitlins, man. He'd be eating, he'd be having complex carbs. Believe me, he'd have a nutritionist that was feeding from sun up to sundown, put 15, 20 pounds of muscle on him like nothing. I could do it. You know, I mean, it would be a whole different. People say, he's too small. He's too small. Bullshit, because you know nothing about advanced nutrition, sports training. Muhammad Ali today would destroy Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, any motherfuckers, man. Fucking,
it wouldn't be close. It wouldn't be close.
Usyk would take the gloves off and throw him down the ring and say, "No, fuck you," and he walked. Believe me, there ain't been one since. There ain't gonna be one ever. I mean, there ain't gonna be one again. So go and watch the highlights of this man. Go and watch some good Ali fights, bro. I mean, this is the fucking greatest of all time, man. BVO, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me on here, man.
I appreciate you too, man. I'm glad we could do this, man. And you know, we're gonna do more because one thing about my brother Bruce, he's like a walking encyclopedia. You know, he's the one that helped me learn more about Archie Moore, the Mongoose. Helped me learn. Hey, and I always gotta say this: you the first person to tell me about Kid Gallahan. So I mean, I always gotta give my man Bruce some love, man. Because if you get a chance. Kid Gallahan was one bad motherfucker, man. He was one bad mofo, man.
I specialize.
Go ahead.
I specialize more late 70s, 80s, 90s. That's more my field. But Gavilan and I mean all those crazy boxers of the past, you wouldn't have the fighters today if you didn't have the guys of the past because they're the pioneers. They showed us what to do, what not to do. You know, and it's to neglect the boxing's history, then man, I didn't want to talk to you, you know.
Hey, and I agree with you 100%. Definitely check my man Bruce Gas out. Best trivia shows, hey, and best gummies, man. If you can win those gummies that have you on the couch for 2-3 hours, man. So salute to my brother Bruce. Man.
All right, my brother.
Had me looking at Florida for 2 hours, man. On that note, we out of here, y'all. Peace.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight.